Hello, I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts, and I am working on my hashtag Fade Journal. It is an open collaboration which is hosted by Amy at Crafty Cat here on YouTube. You can share your makes here on YouTube or on Instagram. Just use the hashtag Fade Journal, which is FAYJOURNAL, and use one or both of Amy's Faye kits that are in her Etsy shop, and her Etsy shop is Crafty Cat USA, and I will leave her information below so you can easily find those. But I am working on my cover today, so let's get the insides out. My one signature, I'm just doing a single signature. Looking gorgeous. Set that aside. But here is my cover, just out of a file folder. Make a teeny tiny spine on it. Just folded the score marks that were already there. What I want to start out with is kind of laying it out, but sometimes how I start out with a cover is not at all what it looks like in the ending. So I know, where did my page go? I love this mushroom, so beautiful. And I do have a die of a fairy, and she's holding a whatever the puffball thingies are that you blow them and the seedlings go everywhere. I've forgotten the name of it. It's just escaped me right now. The words are running away. But I thought she would be cute to put on here. Don't know where she's at. I don't know that I've even used it before, but I may have given it away. Maybe that's why I can't find it. But I thought that might be cute on here if I die cut several of that fairy and made it really dimensional. But if I don't find it, it's no big deal. We'll find something else. But I think this is gorgeous. I really like it. I like the whole thing, but this is really beautiful with the beautiful blue colors there. So gorgeous. I like that. And I also like what I used on the first page. I like this. I just think it's beautiful. I cut it in half already just to see how I would like it. That is gorgeous. I'm going to put something on the spine so it really doesn't matter that it doesn't reach all the way over here. I know they're cut different sizes too. Got a couple of different sizes, but this thing is gorgeous. And I know, yes, it is on the first page when you open it, but you're not even going to recognize it's probably the same thing. Because we're going to have that and that. Maybe I'll put a window. I'm not sure. Just having so much fun with this. Gorgeous, gorgeous kits. But I do know I want this on the spine. This is it's like a dark green, and it was white, and I toffee dyed it, tea and coffee. But I thought that might look good on the spine, and then this in the middle. I have to have some lace. I thought that this might look good, like this, and something like that, and maybe we could do a window and put a tag in it to match this. I'm not real sure, but first thing I know, I do want this lace on here. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this down the middle. I think this will make a really nice spine. It'll look good. I like the stripes and then the black. So let's put these aside. Oh, I do have some vintage doilies. This one is dyed with turmeric tea, and this one is dyed with coffee and instant coffee. But these vintage doilies might look pretty on there somewhere too. So let's get these things put aside, get the sewing machine out, and go ahead. Wait a minute, let's stop a second. This can be sewn on in a minute. Just tuck that up there on the sewing machine. Took everything off my desk here in the living room. All I'm going to have is my sewing machine. And then whatever I'm using, I'm going to pull from my cart. I've made a little cart up. So I have my usual suspects, the things I use all the time. My favorite scissors, craft scissors, cloth scissors, fabric scissors, what have you. And have all of that here. So I can take my cart from here in the living room. I have a craft desk in the living room, my sewing machine, and then I have a craft desk in my actual craft room. So then I can just take my little cart back and forth everywhere instead of having to have one of everything on each desk, because I like the room. I like to spread out. Okay, so back on track here. Let's move these things aside because I think I need to do this first so it can be drying while we're sewing. But here's the inside of the cover, and this is just 100% white cotton that I used coffee and tea and instant coffee to dye. I like the crinkled look. I like how it feels. I'm not ironing it out. I just love that. So I just want to glue this down on the inside, and so we can flip this up like this. Let's go ahead and glue this down. I think that would be better to go ahead and glue it down. Then we can sew. This can be drying. This dries pretty fast. This is the Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. Dries pretty fast. I like it. I have replaced the Art Glitter Glue. Art Glitter Glue is super expensive. This is half the price, pretty much. And it does dry very quickly. So you have to work quickly, but that is no big deal. We can do that. Let's go ahead and get some glue on here. Just do one side at a time since it dries so fast. Just making sure that I am getting right there on that teeny tiny spine so that I will have enough glue that it will stick. Just going to continue to go around and get everything glued down. Have that glued down now. It dries really quickly, as I said. But I just wanted to go ahead and get this part done, so I'll be assured that it will be dry. So I'm going to set this aside to dry for a moment. Won't take long. We'll sew this and then we'll get back to that. I have to reach over here and get my sewing machine. Just pull it down. You probably won't be able to see much that I'm doing, so I might cut all this out. No shaky camera business there. Sort of like that. Okay, we have this sewn on for the spine, and I did not sew these end bits here. I just did a zigzag for the middle and then the stitching down both sides, which my sewing machine was not cooperating on that one stitch, but it's stitched down enough so that whenever I stitch it down to the cover, it will look great. So let's see how this is doing. Okay, this looks like it is ready to be glued on farther to the inside. So let's see, these sides too much. That'll be okay. It doesn't really matter. Let's just cut these corners. And I like to cut like in a slight curve instead of just straight. I don't know, it just seems to work better for me whenever I'm gluing down. Just a little bit of a curve. Really close. Like that. Each corner, and you can cut these straight across if you want. This just seems to work for me. Oops. Okay, awesome. to fold these on those score marks. Okay, make sure we meet them up, and they meet up just fine. That works. Okay, now all I need to do is glue these up, just like this. There we go. Okay, let's get the glue and get this taken care of. So you go up this far, right there. And I'm going to sew over this also, so I'm not super, what do you call that? I'm not going to be a super perfectionist about it, but I am going to put these here. Because this one, I cut it a little bit too close, and I would rather have some material sticking out than to be able to see the cover. So we'll just do that on these. So they'll all be the same. Not too concerned that it came from the same spot either. There. Also helps to make the corners a little thicker, just in case I want to put some of the, I think they're called book corners on here. I think that's what they're called. But there we go. That will work. Now this is drying so fast, I need to put a little more on here. There. Oops, need to be over this too. I love this glue. It glues paper, it glues cloth, cloth to paper. It glues a lot of different things. It works, I mean. Of course it glues, that's what it is, but there we go. And that's what I'll do to all the other sides. And when I get those all done, we will be right back. Okay, we have all that glued down. We'll just wait for that to dry, and then we will come back and continue on the front of the cover. Get that all done because I want to stitch it, sew it down. Not stitch it, I'm not gonna hand stitch it. Sew it all down, and then we will put some cardstock pieces on here, and then we'll put something down for the spine also, just to strengthen the spine. Probably the same coffee dyed, but I will put, not sure if I'll put it first or how I will do it, but we'll let this dry and we will be right back. Okay, just nice and dry for the most part. Just enough that I can go ahead and start on the front. And the elusive fairy dye, not found it, maybe I gave it away. But I'm going to go ahead and get right into this. Let's see. I know we have the spine. That will be here. And maybe possibly one of the doilies. Love vintage doilies. They're gorgeous. And let's see. Where's my one piece? Here it is. Okay. Oops. Surprise. Other things. Goes there. Okay, I know I want this for the most part on the front. It is gorgeous as can be, but I thought we might do a little pocket on the front. That would be fun. I love having pockets on the front. And I found this, listen to the whispers of the trees. I'm thinking maybe fairies might say things like that, but that does need to be smaller. I think this is exactly the size. We'll see. Let's just have a look here. Well, it doesn't really matter because we're going to cut off some of this. So let's determine where we do want to cut it at. I think I want to just go ahead and trim it out. I'm not sure if this cutter will be big enough. Let's see if it will cut this. We'll go a little bit farther out. I'm going to cut about right there. So I want that nice grunginess there in it, I think. We'll get into it here and see. We can always trim off more. Let's go ahead and trim this side. And see how we feel about this. Okay. And put this. We can put this farther up so you can see more of that gorgeousness. And this is a piece of vintage lace that I just coffee and tea dyed. It's just beautiful. I have one piece left. That's really pretty. Don't want to cover that up. We can trim this down though. I don't know if I want the lace around it or if I want to do like black cardstock. That lace is really pretty. Okay, let's go ahead and cut this down some more. Let's see, leave about that much. And let's cut this bottom part. Do I want to cut the bottom or not? Let me check again. Let's see, I want this to be up there. This to be down here. And let's trim this. That might be what needs to be done. Let's trim this. On both sides. Let's see how this looks, see if it's small enough. I really like it right there, but I do not want to cover up that beautiful vintage lace. That is so funny. Okay, that can go there. And if we put a piece of this behind it, oh, I know what I could do. I could sew all of these pieces on and make it look like kind of patchwork, like patchwork. Okay, now with this, I don't like that doily on there. Yes, the doilies are a no-go at the moment. So put those aside. I do really, really like this. There. This can be trimmed off farther. Just two of that blue flower. This is a work in progress here. We'll see if we can get it finished this video. There, the sides about even. Yes, they are. Okay, now let's have a look. I will ink up these edges too. I think that will add to it. We want this way up here. And we want this just to have some lace around the edge, right about there. Yes, I think I really like that. That's going to look good. Okay, so this needs to go underneath of this, because you won't be able to see that. It'll go about right there. So what do we think about that? I think I like the patchwork looking style too. Let's do this. I just like it. It's just so different looking. Do we need to cut off some of this lace and move it farther down? I want some lace over here too. I think this is just too big. I wonder if I have smaller, because it goes from here to here. And then if I put some lace along this side, you will not be able to see that very well. But this can go all the way to this edge. Okay, I think I have it now. I think that's what I want to do. I want to take some more off of this edge though. Okay, let's get this taken care of. There. This side doesn't matter because that's better cut it off. Just in case it shows, it will bug me if it's all showing on one side and not on the other. That looks really cool. I like that. I'll go ahead and trim this bottom part because it's, nope, leave it. Just leave it. Because then it's easier to get stuff out of, in and out of the lace pocket if I leave it. Okay, let's ink these up. Walnut stain. Nice dark edge. There, I like that. Grunged up a bit. That is walnut stain. Just put that right there. We might need it again in a moment. This is going to go here. This needs to be trimmed. This needs to be inked up also. Let's see if we can get... making a racket here. Let's get this inked up. We might be able to trim that a little more. I'm not sure if I'm going to sew around it or not, so we'll just wait a bit. Don't want it to look so pristine. It is in the forest with the fairies, so it's not going to be all prim and proper looking. I'm just folding it and inking on the fold, and then in little sections I will tear a bit and just ink up in the tears. That just makes it all nice and grungied up, and I really like how it's looking. There we go. We need a little tear here. There we go. Now that looks more like it's in the forest. Nice and grunged up. Okay, what did we decide? We decided that this needs to go on first. Sew this on first and then everything else goes on top, or does this go first? Hold on. Let's think about it a moment. This, I need to go ahead and cut the lace for under it. And I may go ahead and sew on there. That might be really cute to just sew around the edges. Yeah, let's do that. Get everything set up here. Let's go ahead and, let's go this way. Get this. Just want a little bit to be showing around the edges. Not a huge amount. I love coffee and tea dyeing this vintage lace. It just turns out so nice and yummy. Okay, so what we need to do is to glue this down so that when I sew it, it's not going to go everywhere. We'll go ahead and do that, and we'll get all our pieces ready before I sew. There, I like that. That's going to look really cute right there. And we can put the lace, goes up a little higher. This side is going to be trimmed. That's really, really wacky right there. There, that's better. Okay, that is ready to be sewn around. And sew around that, whoops, glue on me. This will be first, I think. Okay, let's see what order we need to do things here. That goes there, just like that. This goes here. This goes on top. Yeah, we may need to glue this down first, and then I definitely want the grungy, darker side. And this goes under here, over to that side. So what we need to do first is glue this down. Okay, I need to focus for a moment. I want to stitch around this and this first. Then we will, it might look cute too to have some stitching on this. So let's go ahead and this is going to go under there. So let's trim this a little bit. We don't need it to be all that over there. Can trim it when we get finished sewing, but I don't want to have all of this piece to try and fight with while I'm sewing. Okay, that works. This will be on top. And we will also, we'll put this as close to that edge as we can get it because I want to put some lace on this edge also. Yay! Okay, so I'm going to stitch around this, this, and this. Make sure that I only stitch, I think I might just stitch over these two and not worry about the end because there's going to be lace going over the top. Okay, stitch these two, stitch around this, and stitch around this, and we'll be right back. Part 2 video is coming soon. I'm Bex with Black Whisper Crafts. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful crafty day.